Life as I knew it irrevocably changed that day. That once happy girl became fearful, suspicious, hypervigilant. My sense of safety was shattered. These devastating words by Phyllis Henneman may cause you to wonder what tragic event this 22-year-old woman endured. She was one of many victims of a violent predator who was known by many names: the Visalia ransacker, the East Area rapist, the original Night Stalker, and finally, the Golden State Killer, or GSK for short. Over the course of 13 years, this unknown subject, was responsible for at least 130 burglaries, 50 rapes, and 13 murders. And yet for 45 years, he was left unidentified. I've been a follower of true crime for most of my life, and this case in particular has been a bit of an obsession of mine for nearly 10 years. He was first known as the Visalia ransacker when he was active in Visalia, California, starting in 1973. During this time, he was responsible for 130 burglaries, all sharing very similar MOs. On one night in November 1974, he was involved in 12 separate incidences. His crimes continued to escalate over this time to the point that it became obvious to investigators that they were sexually motivated. In December of 1975, he was nearly caught peeping through the bedroom window of a young girl, but was able to escape police, unfortunately. Early in 1976, he moved to Northern California, to Sacramento County, where his crimes escalated to rape, and he became known as the East Area Rapist. During the following 3 years, he assaulted 40 women and young girls. 2 of his victims were only 13 years old. During this time, he would spend hours in the homes of his victims. He would assault them, take a break to eat, to ransack, to watch television, or even to cry, before returning to assault them yet again. According to Paul Holes, who is a respected former cold case investigator, when he would break into homes where there was a couple present, he would force the female victim to tie up the male victim, and then he would place dishes on the back of the male and warn him that if the dishes rattled, he would kill the female victim. His final attack as the East Area Rapist was in February of 1978. At that point, he moved to Southern California and became known as the original Night Stalker. His first assault in that area didn't go as he planned. The couple was able to get away and raise the alarm with their neighbor, who was an FBI agent, and gave chase, but again he evaded capture. At this point, his crimes again escalated, and he left no survivors after this. His final victim was in May of 1986, but it would be 15 years before there was any progress made in the case. In 2001, the state of California established a statewide database of DNA, and finally they were able to link all of these different cases that had happened in different counties. In 2011, a true crime enthusiast and a citizen detective named Michelle McNamara, who is well known in true crime circles, brought some much needed attention to this case, and she's also the one who gave him the name of the Golden State Killer. She was able to really bring some publicity and some new details to light. In 2016, the FBI released some new sketches of the suspect and offered a $50,000 reward for information leading to arrest. But it wasn't until 2018 when Paul Holes, along with some fellow investigators, entered GSK's DNA profile into a system known as GEDmatch, which was a new system, a new form of forensic science where they can match the DNA of perpetrators with DNA uploaded from volunteers who had gotten their DNA done through like Ancestry. Using this science, which is called forensic genetic genealogy, they were able to make a profile of between 10 and 20 people who shared great-great-grandparents with GSK. And using this, they could build this giant family tree and narrow down all of the suspects to just one man. And on April 24th of 2018, just 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, 45 years after his first attack, Joseph James DeAngelo Jr. was captured. Unfortunately, the statute of limitations on the burglaries and rapes have expired, but he was charged with 13 counts of kidnapping and 13 counts of murder. On June 2020, in order to avoid the death penalty that prosecutors were seeking, Joseph DeAngelo pled guilty to all 26 counts. We can never say that such a horrific series of crimes has a satisfactory ending. There can't be satisfaction in a situation where so many lives have been damaged beyond repair or ended. But for his crimes, the 130 burglaries, the 50 rapes, and the 13 murders, he was sentenced to 12 life sentences plus 8 years with no possibility of parole. In closing, I can offer no better words than those of Judge Michael Bowman, as recorded by CNN when he was handing down the sentence to DeAngelo. He said, "When a person commits monstrous acts, they need to be locked away where they can never harm another innocent person. It is my sincere hope that with the opportunity to be heard and the sentence to be imposed, the survivors will find some resolution, will find some peace, and will hopefully find some justice, however imperfect." Thank you.